Hello and welcome back to Lethal. I am Alistair, this is Lethal, and today we're going to talk all about Wonder Woman 84. Yes, I've seen it. I've just gotten home from the cinema. I have had a few hours, I've had some lunch, time to digest the movie and my food, just because you're wondering. I've got a lot of thoughts. I will preface this by saying that I am a huge DC comic book fan. I'm a huge fan of Wonder Woman. I'm a huge fan of Gal Gadot, Patty Jenkins, everything that they've been doing so far. So if you think this review might be a little biased, probably gonna be. But I promise I will keep it spoiler free for this round. There will be a spoiler filled version coming. Anyway, let's get on with it. Roll a video! Wonder Woman 84 stars Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, Kristen Wiig, and Pedro Pascal. We have returning players Robin Wright and Connie Nielsen as their Amazon warriors. Now the film is set obviously in the year 1984, with main villains Maxwell Lord played by Pascal and Cheetah played by Wiig. Now, this movie is no secret, has moved dates about 6 times. We were originally meant to see it this time last year, so it's been a full 12 months, nearly, and it comes out next week, so 26th of December for us here in Australia. Only at the movies. Everywhere else you can watch it on HBO Max Christmas Day, and select cinemas depending on if you feel COVID safe and if cinemas are open in your area. So, what's it all about, I hear you say? It really is a product of its time. The 80s were a time when technology was starting to assist human life, and really was considered like the time to be alive. And this really feels like the right moment for Wonder Woman to come back, because Diana is living in the shadows. She's very solitary. She doesn't have a lot of friends. She hasn't moved on from Steve Trevor. She's still stuck in that relationship. And this movie is all kind of about bringing her back to life, and bringing Wonder Woman back to help save people. And just as a weird plot twist, she lives in DC, Washington DC that is. That's a very poignant place in our history as of December 18th. But I'll get to more on that in my spoiler special. I'm not going to say too much more about that now. Whoop. Cheetah, aka Barbara Minerva, wants power in a world that's rejected her, and 80s wasn't a great time for nerds. Come on, let's be honest. We were shunned. But it's all fueled along by this really comic book stereotypical mythical device that's kind of bringing all this stuff together, that threatens the very existence of the whole planet. And what I really liked about this movie is that it's international. It's not just in DC in America. There's scenes in Cairo, Egypt. It does really feel like this epic international affair, which, to be fair, a lot of comic book movies just don't feel like anymore. A big improvement from the last film is there is no CGI schlockfest at the end. There is CGI used, but it's used sparingly, only when necessary, and the quality is mwah. Cheetah, I was scared. Not gonna lie, the trailer didn't look great. And just to set your expectations, Cheetah as Cheetah is not in it for too long. And it's just enough to get you excited and pumped, and then cool, we're moving on. So there's no swirling sky beams, there's no invading aliens from another planet. It's all very local. And that's what I really enjoyed, is that the focus of this film is on the humanity. So a lot of the first act and the first hour is setting up the characters and the villains. So the villains aren't just these mustache twirling, ha ha ha, kind of thing. You understand who they are as people before they turn into horrible, terrible villains who want to take over the world. And even then, you kind of understand why. So there's a little bit of sympathy there. It did work very, very well, and I did enjoy it. As always, Gal Gadot shines as Diana and as Wonder Woman. There are scenes where she just looks like Linda Carter, running down the street in Washington DC. Amazing. There is a lot more CG in this film, and the less I say about that, the better. But there are moments, and you may think of this when you see the movie, where you're like, ooh, that's CG. But it's done sparingly, it's done right, and it doesn't look cheap and nasty, which really, really helped the film. What I struggled with was the first hour. It starts off action-packed, and then it kind of goes into character and kind of plods along, and then it just like pulls you back into the action. The good thing is that the action, there's a lot of emotion there. The first film I saw with a bunch of friends who were fans, and we all had a good cry, and we all loved it, and we all had dinner, and it was just like, yeah! And this time I saw the film in a cinema predominantly of, white men a lot older than I am, who are not excited about seeing Wonder Woman 84. And in I walk with my hoodie and my hat, and I'm like, yeah, I'm all here for it. And look, I shed more than a few tears. The emotional punches hit harder this time because this is the fourth time we've seen her on screen. So I feel like our relationship with this character is really strong, and this movie shows us a human side to Diana more than any other movie has. And that's something that really works to its strength. Chris Pine is in it, and you understand why, and it's all explained, it all makes sense, sort of, in a very comic book fashion way, and that's okay. He is charming, he is joyous, he's probably in it for a couple of scenes too long, but look, you've heard it from other people, the fish out of water reverse thing is real, it is good, and I enjoyed it, and I would definitely watch it again. Kristen Wiig as Cheetah, aka Barbara Minerva, is also fantastic. Now, I'm a huge Wiig fan. I love her humour. She can just pull a face and I'm in stitches. And she delivers this here. She has this 80s awkward, nerdy thing. Flawless. I must say her choreography and her action scenes are spectacular. When she fights off against Diana, it's just mesmerising. This also goes for Gal Gadot as well. The amount of choreography in their action scenes, every move, every slide, every kick, every punch, it all counts. And you can all see kind of how it's all put together, and it just works in the most spectacular fashion. I loved it so much. The 80s setting is very camp, it's very fun, it's very colourful, particularly when you look at the last film, which was set in World War I, and is just a really different kind of affair. This feels like a completely different film. What I really enjoyed was seeing this evolution of Diana, not just as Wonder Woman, but as a human being, as Diana. And you still see a little bit of the Amazon past that if you've seen my reaction video, you would have seen that scene already. So we do go back to Themyscira and the Amazonians. There are a lot of surprises in the film, so there are a few things that are in the comics that are definitely in the film that no one knows about unless you've seen it. And oh boy, when they are there, you will scream, you will cheer, you will revel. So if you're watching this at home, I hope your reaction is visceral, because that's so exciting. Yeah. So look, the film was made for IMAX with IMAX cameras, of course being a Zack Snyder production. I wouldn't expect anything less. So I did see this just in a regular cinema. I am seeing it in IMAX next week, so I will come back with a full IMAX review and why you should, or maybe shouldn't see it there. In the meantime, Wonder Woman 84 is a triumph. It's a joy. It is such a strong message for 2020 December, when we've all had probably the worst year of our lives. This is just flying in as a beacon of positivity, happiness, love, joy, and strength. And I walked out with the biggest smile on my face. And the message of the film is be kind to other people. There are lots of messages, but the strongest message is be kind to other people. And I can't think of a better time in recent years to hear that message. So Wonder Woman 84 gets a 4-star out of 5 from me. So that's it. There is my spoiler-free review of Wonder Woman 84. Have you seen it? If you have, please comment below. Spoiler-free, let me know what you thought. If you haven't seen it, what are you looking for? What are you excited about? Is there something about the trailer that you're like, there must be something more to that? Tell me more. I'm excited about that. Let me know. I'd love to read it. As always, this is Lethal. I'm Alistair, and I will see you on the next video.